In the last 3 years, I have bought 6 dive watches, which sounds more ridiculous when I say it out loud, and I have reviewed a lot more. If you ask the internet, which dive watch should I buy? It will probably give you a list of about 18 watches. But which one is best? That's what we are figuring out today. I am ordering these in the order the internet gave me, so prices are going to be all over the place. It's going to be fun. Number 1, the Rolex Submariner. So this is the dive watch most people think of for this category. The Rolex Submariner was really a part of establishing the design codes we associate with a diver. So a unidirectional bezel, highly legible dial layout, lume, all that fun stuff, and it remains an icon for a reason. Let's do some pros and cons, starting with the pros. This is incredibly robust, great build quality. If you hold a modern Submariner in your hand, you feel the quality that has gone into it. You can see how they've been refining this model over decades. Just the staple diver, very, very good watch. You really can't argue with the sub. For cons, the biggest problem is really just availability. Rolex models right now are generally hard to get, and the Submariner is a waitlist item. In the UK, I wouldn't say these are impossible to get. I would expect a 1 to 2 year wait. Second con, the price. I mean, it's a Rolex. It was never gonna cost the same as a Timex, but they're still pretty punchy. The no date retails for £8,450 and the date £9,500. That's a lot of guacamole. And with Rolex price increases, I think they're slowly pricing themselves out of what these are worth. So I can't be unbiased about the Omega Seamaster Diver 300. I bought 2 of these in 2025. They're older mid-size variations, and this is another icon. Released in 1993, this design has stayed relatively untouched over the decades, still featuring the blue wave dial, lyre lugs, and the helium escape valve. I've said it so many times, I'm going to keep saying it. I think this might be the most beautiful dive watch ever. It almost feels like a wave with the way the lyre lugs twist into the case, meeting the scalloped bezel. Really good design, really good build quality, and an interesting movement with the coaxial 8800 in the modern variation, which is METAS certified, visible through the display case back. Pros, very solid dive watch, unique design, great movement, and there's a lot of value being packed in there, especially when comparing against the Rolex Submariner. These retail for £5,600, and this price hasn't changed in the past 3 years. I think these are a great value proposition, great watch. As for cons, the size. The modern variation is only available in 42 millimeters. The external helium escape valve isn't for everyone, and it feels like Omega has kinda lost their way with this design, adding a lot of new models that don't really add much in terms of innovation. Number 3, Tudor Black Bay. If there was a video that was made for Tudor, this is it. Tudor has maybe the best dive watch offerings out there, well priced, well made, good variety. The internet has suggested the Black Bay, which is awesome. I'm wearing a Black Bay. So this includes the normal Black Bay 41 millimeters, the Black Bay 58, which is similar but 39 millimeters, and the smallest variant being the Black Bay 54 at 37 millimeters. I personally own the Black Bay 58 and the Black Bay 54. These are excellent dive watches, very robust, 200 meters of water resistance, manufacturer caliber, and now even METAS certification being added to the Black Bay 41 millimeters and the newest Black Bay 58. Pros, well priced, well built, very elegant on wrist, lots of size options, and I'd say these still deliver in line with the price, which is around £4,000 depending on variant. As for cons, with recent price increases, Tudor is becoming less of the value proposition it once was. And honestly, that's my only complaint. These are really great. That's why I've bought 2. I've said it before, but I did choose these over the Rolex Submariner, and it still would be my choice. Another option I'd include, but the internet didn't include, is the Pelagos 39. Classic looking design, titanium, and comes with a complimentary strap. So the internet didn't actually put this one on here, but I'm hoping I can influence AI to make this come up on lists more. The Pelagos Ultra is the best Tudor watch in the Tudor catalog, in my opinion, an absolute spec beast. 1,000 meters of water resistance, titanium case. I love the clasp and the extension system built in there, with the little pops of turquoise for branding. If you wanted an industrial, proper diver, This is it. Very good price for what it is at £5,260. The only con I can think of is the size being 43 millimeters, but with this being an industrial style dive watch, I can understand why it is so large and only available in this size. The Glashutte Original SeaQ is a watch I've reviewed twice now, and I only fall more in love with it each time. This is positioned at the same level as the Rolex Submariner, but kinda being more of the thinking man's choice. There are some sacrifices, so 200 meters of water resistance rather than Rolex with the 300 meters, and the movement has a pretty low power reserve at 40 hours. But you gain a high amount of finishing on the case and movement, unique design language, feeling very German, and unlike any other diver that I can think of, and a clever clasp micro-adjust system. I think the trade-offs are worth it. Not everyone will, but I highly recommend if you have the opportunity to try one of these on, do it. I think I've blurted out most of the pros and cons, but I'll still put them on the screen right now. As for pricing, if you want to save money, look on the secondary market. And if you want new, I'd say you should definitely ask for a discount from the authorized dealer. Moving on, Panerai Submersible. This is a watch I've always wanted to have in to review. Panerai kind of feels like the forgotten mainstream brand, and I'm always rooting for them to have a resurgence in popularity. The Submersible was released in 1998, so a relatively new model for the brand that keeps the Panerai DNA. Pros, very cool looking, very different. They're not trying to be anyone else. Cons, they're large. It's a Panerai, starting at 42 millimeters in case diameter and only getting larger from there. The price begins at £8,200 or about $10,000 USD, which is punchy, but not unfounded. I could see the price being an obstacle for what else that money could buy. The Breitling SuperOcean had a big rebrand in 2022, inspired by the slow motion models of the 1960s. This revamp made the collection feel entirely new and fresh. This doesn't look or feel like any other diver. Pure Breitling, high legibility, and feels that little bit more elevated with the polished center links. Pros, great size options in 36mm, 42mm, 44 and 46mm, unique design, and really well priced at £4,600. That's a lot of name brand power for a reasonable price. Cons, the movement could be better. Fitted with the Breitling 17, only giving 38 hours of power reserve, and that's the only con I can think of. Do you want heritage? Do you want something different? That's the 50 Fathoms, baby! Launched in 1953, this is considered the first modern dive watch, with all the dive watch distinctives, and it was the first watch that could dive down to 300 feet, or 91 meters. Not to be confused with the Rolex Submariner, which was the first to 100 meters in 1954. This is the enthusiast choice, the if you know choice. I've pretty much said all the pros. Handsome watch will get you a lot of respect from watch collectors, good size options. For cons, it's expensive, starting at £15,400. If you were going to buy one, I'd highly recommend going secondary. These seem to be between £8,000 and £11,000 depending on model, but still that's a lot of guacamole. I don't think a lot of people associate IWC with dive watches, but I have a huge soft spot for the Aquatimer. I have one from the 2000s, super cool, and the modern variation really fits into IWC's design DNA. Pros, good looking watch, isn't the obvious choice, doesn't even have the obvious dive watch features. Internal rotating bezel with safe dive system, completely brushed case, feeling very sporty. As for cons, it could maybe feel a bit cold and austere. It is quite thick at 14.1 millimeters, and the price is still a bit punchy again at £6,000 retail. Would I get this over the Seamaster Diver 300, which is £400 cheaper? I'd love to see IWC give this collection a bit more love, a bit more oomph in the coming years. Great watch, could use a little bit more attention. Moving on, Glashutte and the Polaris. This is one of my favorite dive watches ever. High legibility, such a cool choice, and looks good on the right wrist size. Pros, a true if you know kind of piece. Very elevated. It feels that next step up in terms of finishing, as JLC often does. Mindful use of color and the right little color pops adding personality. rotating inner bezel, and powered by the in-house caliber 899, automatic, 70 hours of power reserve. Awesome. Cons, very limited sizes, only available in 42 millimeters. Prices start at £10,600, which isn't amazing value, but as we watch Rolex prices get closer to £10,000, I could see JLC calling more people in. If it was me and my money, I'd probably get a vintage Memo Vox instead, but that's just me. The TAG Heuer Aquaracer. This might be my favorite watch to recommend to people who are looking for a diver, and I would love to add one to my collection in 2026 if money is right. So the Aquaracer Professional 300 Date is what I'd recommend to most people asking. Really good, reliable diver. Aesthetically, love this. Good price at £3,650, and TAG carries a lot of name brand power recognition. For myself personally though, I am only interested in the 40mm solar graph with that ice blue polar blue seconds hand. The titanium is so dark and badass, bead blasted finish all over the case and bracelet. I love it, and I prefer the baton indices. For the pros, great value, really good diver, lots of size options. I feel like this just looks good on everyone. Cons, although TAG advertises the movement as the TH31-00, it is based on the Sellita manufacturer AMT, still COSC certified though, so it's quite a good movement. But I know a lot of people seem to prefer a manufacturer caliber, and I get it. I can see both sides of it. For me, not a lot of cons. Great watch, great choice. Next, the Casio Duro. I think this might be the most affordable watch on this list, retailing for under $100 USD and certainly under £1,000. These have all the diver functions and style you're looking for. Very durable, 200 meters of water resistance, just a solid choice. Pros, this is a great watch for someone on a budget who still wants a pretty capable and robust diver. Cons, I mean, the only cons I'll be able to find will be related to the price, which feels almost unreasonable for how much this delivers. Watch geeks usually want a mechanical movement, but for under £100, under $100, how can you complain? This is great. Over delivers. Moving on to the Seiko Prospex SPB 143. This might be my favorite watch on the list, especially for the price. This is just a great classic looking diver, 40mm case diameter, sunburst dial, date neatly tucked away at 3 o'clock, all of the dive specs we want to see with 200 meters of water resistance, unidirectional bezel, screw down crown, and powered by the automatic 6R35, giving 70 hours of power reserve. Oh, I slightly lost my voice there. 70 hours of power reserve. These retail for £1,150, which isn't cheap, but I think it is justified for what you're getting. I honestly don't think I have any cons beyond long-term Seiko collectors and enthusiasts dislike the current prices. I think Seiko delivers in line with the price, but you know, who wouldn't love to see this sub £1,000? Next, Sinn and the U50. This was released in April 2020 as their reply to the demand for a smaller version of the U1, shrinking the case to a more versatile 41mm while retaining the utilitarian feeling, 500 meters of water resistance, and crafted from high-strength German submarine steel. This is very exciting if you're a watch enthusiast and a submarine enthusiast, as the history of submarines is completely entangled with Germany and them pioneering modern submarine design and developing submarine warfare tactics and technology. I mean, no one loves talking about Germany and wartime efforts, but if we remove ourselves from that, the German influence on global submarine technology is immense and fascinating. I'm supposed to be talking about the Sinn U50. I'm so sorry. As for pros, so robust, utilitarian, maybe the most legible watch I've ever seen, and they pack a lot in there for £2,500. Cons, that's still a big old chunk of money. When you start going over £2,000, that's when the price really starts to sting and makes people consider their options. I think it's worth it, but it takes a pretty specific buyer. It's a niche product. Another Omega? Yes, get into it. The Seamaster Planet Ocean. And I'm not sure if the internet meant the previous variation or the current. My preference is the former, but let's keep it to the current. Omega recently gave the Planet Ocean line a massive overhaul. There's a new bracelet, they removed the helium escape valve, even the case shape has changed. To me, it kind of feels like if Grand Seiko and Omega had a love child. As time goes on, I feel myself softening to this new design, but I'm not quite there yet. This is a great option for someone looking for something quite different and a spec beast. So 600 meters of water resistance and more refined than the previous iteration, being a bit thinner. Good movement with the caliber 8912, which was the same movement in the previous model family, and the Ploprof, and the Railmaster. It's a very good watch. The only con I can think of is a lot of people are still settling into the design. We are coming to the end, only a few watches left, and I feel like the internet should have put this one higher, the Longines Hydroconquest. It's everything we expect from Longines: handsome design, reliable movement, and specifications. They're great. At a very solid offering, especially for the price at £1,700. Pros, I mean, I've already said them. Great looking, reliable diver, great entry point into luxury, lots of size options at 41mm, 43mm, and the ladies' quartz 32mm. It's hard to find complaints about these. If I had to, I don't love the giant 12, 9, and 6 against the small date window at 3 o'clock. It just makes it feel off balance. Also, if you had a bit of money to spend and you really wanted to spend it with Longines, I am very into the Ultrachron Carbon 43. Oh my gosh, look at this. This has a high frequency movement, carbon and titanium case, 300 meters of water resistance. The specs are great, but it mostly just looks so cool. If anyone is watching this from Longines, I would love to borrow one of these. No one's watching from Longines. But if you are... Moving on, Christopher Ward, and they have so many cool divers, with my personal favorite being the C60 Lumiere. But if you wanted more of a classic staple, the C60 Trident Pro is very hard to beat. Priced just under £1,000, this has a case diameter of 38mm and only 11mm thickness thanks to the Sellita SW200-1 automatic movement. I know a lot of people are looking for in-house calibers, and at certain price points. I get it. But Sellita movements are really good, and they allow for thinner profiles. I really like this watch. The only cons I can find are little design things that I personally don't like the Trident counterbalance on the seconds hand. Other than that, very solid offering. Christopher Ward is making such good quality timepieces and have earned every bit of the good reputation they have. Let's finish this video with an icon. So Doxa launched the Sub 300 in 1967 and took making a dive watch very seriously. Working alongside divers, they tested colors and chose orange as it was the most visible underwater. Adopted by Jacques Cousteau, US dive company, this has been the favorite among actual divers and enthusiasts for decades. To this day, the Sub 300 stands out amongst other divers for its unique design language and prioritizing function over form always. These tend to retail between £2,000 and £2,500. This is another enthusiast choice. I don't think these appeal to normal people as much. As for pros, serious dive watch chops, really good specifications, and something truly different. For cons, it appeals to a very specific buyer. So this was meant to be a ranking. I don't know how to rank such a wide array of watches that are really good for their own specific reasons, but here's what I'd say. Best budget diver, this has to go to the Casio Duro. I don't know where else you'd find this much watch in a classic looking package for under $100. Best watch under £1,000 is the Christopher Ward C60 Trident Pro 300. They are unbeatable at the price point, in my humble opinion. Best value, this has to go to the Tudor Pelagos Ultra. I think this is the best value in the Tudor catalog, unreasonably good, and I think it looks great. Most versatile, probably one of the Tudor Black Bays, depending on the size of your wrist. This is the quintessential dusk diver that can still do it all. Highest end in this list, probably the JLC Polaris or the SeaQ, but I think the Polaris has the edge. And the best overall, Please don't hate me, please don't unsubscribe, but I'd probably give it to the Rolex Submariner, with a very close second to the Seamaster Diver 300. The only reason the Submariner is going higher for me is because it overall feels more tool, having a more simple bracelet, less polished surfaces, and I think it will appeal to more people because of that. If Rolex keeps having aggressive price increases like they have just done, I don't think this will be the best overall diver anymore. So yeah, that's my ranking of the internet's favorite divers. Did I miss your favorite one? Let me know in the comments down below. Did I get anything massively wrong? Oh, I'm sure you'll let me know in the comments down below. But if you could let me know if I got anything right, that could be nice for my ego sometimes. I don't know. Let me know. Are you going to get any divers this year? I can't wait to see what you say. Thank you so much for your viewership. And thank you to the Pope tier patrons. Yeah. Get their names on the screen. Hello guys, I just wanted to do a fun little video. Patrons, you guys know this. I've been really struggling with the state of the world, so sometimes I just need some good old-fashioned escapism, and that's what watches have been for me. I just wanted to make a fun little list, fun little video to take my mind off of things. Thank you so much for supporting my weird little channel. I hope you keep enjoying the work we make here. I love making it, and even if you don't love it anymore, that's fine. I hope you keep loving watches forever. Thank you so much. You guys are awesome. Bye guys.